Hello, friends, chosen ones. Who are you and what are you really looking for? And how do you get that? That's what we're going to talk about in today's transmission. And it all starts with really caring about how you feel. So, realizing that your emotional guidance system is your highest connection to Source, to your higher self, and to who you really want to be. So, you want to find yourself into a place where you're feeling really good most of the time, because feeling good is really what alignment is. It's really where you want to be. See, that's really what you're looking for, is a life that is actualized, where you're living your highest timeline, your highest potential. And the way to get there is really through your emotions, okay? And your emotions will tell you where you are, first of all, and that will inform you then of what you need to do and how you can correct your path if you need to, you know. Generally, if we're feeling good, we're following our inspiration, we are trusting in that higher guidance. You know, first of all, you have to realize it's there, okay? Because all the things we learn from when we're little is a lot of it, especially for men, but for all of us, is really a lot of suppression. Suppressing our feelings, not, you know, motivating ourselves to do things that we don't really want to do because we're looking to enjoy something in the future, okay? But that's like the old way of being. The new way of being is that you're happy where you're going, and you're happy when you come there, and you're happy after that as well. You don't need to really sacrifice your happiness and your joy to be happy. You know, that's a really twisted way of living, and it's time to move beyond that. And to get there, that involves a lot of transformation, okay? So you have to learn things, and you have to experiment with things, and you have to build your faith. You have to realize how these things really truly work, and how they were designed to work from the beginning. And the ancient ones, they all knew this, you know. They lived their lives that way, for most of the part at least, and they taught their young to live that way, you know. And one day we will do that as well. I mean, we're starting to, but I mean, you wouldn't have to go through all this confusion and so forth, and you could start living your higher timelines right away, instead of having to sort of grow up and grow out of the things that you were taught and so forth. So there are some challenges with this, of course. And that's why you're here. That's why you found this video. You know, if you're here, then you've aligned yourself with this message, okay? So I'm creating this message for you. You're the one who helped me create this message, because if you weren't there, there would be nothing for me to say. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. And so what we're doing here on this channel is we're filling into this frequency, okay? This inspired frequency of feeling good and of living our highest timeline, living our highest potential, being one with Source, really, is what it's all about. So when we're not feeling good, right, that's an indication that we are off our timeline. And we need to sort of rebalance ourselves, recalibrate ourselves. And there are many ways you can do this, of course. But first of all, is to realize that it's just a perspective thing. You're looking at your present moment, here and now, in a way that doesn't agree with the Source, okay? So Source is seeing it in a very positive frame, and you, because of your limited perspective and so on, are thinking of it negatively, okay? And when you do that, you attract more negativity into you. So your perspective changes to see more and more negative, okay? And you attract more and more negative, so that confirms your negativity, because you are a God. You're God. You're part of God, and you have that creative power. You are constantly creating your reality, okay? It's not instantaneous in that sense. Whatever you think, it just doesn't instantly manifest. It takes time, but with time, these thoughts, they become beliefs, and the beliefs, they become sort of like waves, and then they start manifesting. But the feeling itself, we have to recognize that that is a manifestation as well. So when you're feeling something and it's not something pleasant, it's not something you like, then you can be sure that you're going in the opposite direction of where you actually want to go. And the way to stop that is basically to recognize what you're doing and stop doing that, okay? And it can be really hard sometimes because it's so ingrained in us to struggle, to effort, that to motivate ourselves, to push ourselves up against the current. And when we do that, it's like the negativity will just build and build to the point where it starts manifesting as really negative things like sickness, like failures, and so forth, and various kinds of negativities, accidents, or we're attracting negative beings into our energy field and so forth, into our experience. So it's really important to learn to recognize these things early when it's still easy to do something to change it, okay? Because once the negative momentum builds, once the wave becomes too big, then it's really hard to change that, okay? It takes, it's sort of like you have to go through that negativity because it became too strong, okay? Like if you roll a stone down a hill, in the beginning you could stop the stone and you can stop it from rolling down. But if you let it start rolling and you stand at the bottom of the hill, you can't stop it, okay? It's gonna crush you. And sometimes it's like that, okay? Sometimes life is like we have to somehow abandon certain things because we've just been, we've just been efforting too much and we've been trying too hard, and it's not really what we want to do. It's not really what we're meant to do. So sometimes that's part of our transformation, is to let go of the things that are not working, okay? That are just us doing something blindly, sort of blind of our emotions, blind of our happiness, and so forth. And so letting go is definitely part of this. And then finding the joy, and sometimes, one activity that you do before you did it out of motivation, you forced yourself, but just by recalibrating yourself, now you can do it from inspiration, okay, from inspired action. So it's not the activity per se, right? It's more about how you feel about it, right? And it's the same with relationships. So you can be in a relationship and it feels like it's really not working out, and there's been a negative momentum building for a long time, but then you shift your focus and you start to find things to appreciate. It might not even be in the relationship. You just might start feeling better about something else in your life, another aspect of your life, your work, or something that you like doing, exercising, or whatever it is. And because you feel better about that, you start feeling better about other things as well. If you stop pushing, if you stop trying to motivate yourself with those things. So this is the kind of work that I do. I help chosen ones to figure this out, how to build a positive momentum, how to stop the negative momentum, stop positive momentum. We start the positive momentum, and build the positive momentum until it really transforms you, okay? And there's a lot of things that you might need help with during that time. There's a lot of different tools and processes that we could use to help you to accelerate this process, to make it easier and quicker. And it definitely doesn't have to be such a big struggle, It can be really fun, it can be really easy in a lot of ways. And yeah, some things will be challenging, but I've gone through a lot of that, so I can really help you to work through it faster. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can email me from the About page, and there's an email there. So really, and when we start to understand these things at a deeper level, we can start really picking up on it quickly, and that way we become sort of masters of our energy. And that's one reason why we're here, is to really be masters of our energy and to enjoy this life experience. So when you have negative beliefs, they can feel really solid. They can feel like that you can't really do anything about it. It can feel like this overwhelming feeling of failure sort of, and that's because that's how negative beliefs survive, okay? They trick you into believing that if you don't follow the negative belief, basically you're gonna die or you're gonna have some catastrophe in your life, okay? That's a negative belief. That's the essence of a negative belief. And the essence of a positive belief is that there is a choice, okay? You have freedom. So whenever you feel like you don't have a choice and that you have to do something, then watch out, you know, because that's a sign that that's a negative belief. And you can always change any belief that you have, okay? So you want to look at the negative beliefs you have and open those up and change them into positive. So you realize that you do have a choice, and then you start seeing the many different options that are available to you in this present moment and things that you can do different. And a lot of the tools that I've talked about on this channel and that I have available, they help you to shift your energy, okay? And shift your perspective from that negative, locked in survival mode thinking into a more open, freedom, growth-oriented way of being. And it's a total frequency shift. It's not just like a logical mind exercise. It's a frequency shift, what I'm presenting here. So it's very, very powerful, and it's very, very transformative. And if you knew me from the past, you can see it in me, and you can definitely feel it from me in these videos, because I'm really embodying that frequency really well now. And I had a permanent shift a couple of months ago, after which things became a lot easier for me. Not that there are no more challenges, but it's just become, the momentum has become so strong now, and things have become so clear that it's really easy for me to keep going. And yeah, it's really beautiful. And this is sort of what I believe is awakening, or permanent awakening, or enlightenment. That's the true meaning of that, is when you become very, very stable in your alignment, in your happiness basically, and in your confidence and all these things, that you sort of have enough faith in yourself and in your guidance system and in source and your higher self to really follow through on the things that you really want to do. You don't get distracted, and you don't get pulled down so much that it ruins that momentum, okay? So yes, there will still be challenges, there will still be things to work on. I mean, that's part of who we are. We are this ever-evolving, infinite being. So that will never stop, okay? There will always be challenges, and the challenge is always to fine-tune yourself into that new place of who you really want to be now, you know, from all the experiences you've had up until now. Like, what do I really want, and who do I really want to be? And then transform yourself, transform your frequency into the place where you can receive all those things that you desire, okay? But it wouldn't be satisfying to receive those unless you really transformed yourself, see? So we think that, oh, I just want all this stuff and that's going to make me happy, but that's not really it. It's the doing of it, it's the being of it, you know? To embody that new frequency that you want to embody, and that will then allow you to do those things that you really want to do. So it can sound complicated, okay, but it's really very intuitive, and once you get it at that level, it's quite simple, it's quite straightforward. And yes, I still have days I don't feel 100% or really great about things, but then I have to just start to focus on what that is about, and then realign myself, because ever since I shifted, I've really gone for things that I've been wanting for a long time, but I've had a hard time doing before, because of fear, because of different kind of limiting beliefs and blockages and so forth. But now, like, the momentum is so strong that yeah, it's getting really easy to find my way back. And of course, with all these new experiences, then there's new contrast, okay? So I get to go deeper into places where I've never been before, in terms of YouTube and so forth, and working with people. There's a lot of new things for me. So of course there's a lot of contrast, there's a lot of different ways to look at that, and then you have to sort of recalibrate yourself and look at things in a more aligned way again, you know. And that will always keep happening. Any new relationship you have, any new thing you undertake yourself, a new project, changes you want to do, so forth, you always have to keep realigning yourself and fine-tuning yourself to that higher frequency of who you truly are and who you truly want to be. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to support you on your journey. So if you're liking this content, then please subscribe to the channel. You can ring the bell so that you will be informed about all my videos. And yeah, you can share this with a friend if you have someone who would resonate with this material. And if you want to donate, there is a donation link in the description below. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, really appreciate you staying on for the whole video here. So see you in the next one. Ciao.